This is Christine Brown, and while I have to listen to this podcast as my motherly duty, you have the choice not to. My sons sometimes say some naughty things when they're trying to be funny, but really, they're just being stupid. Do you still want to listen? Go right ahead. I am not your mother.
Welcome back to the Patriots Dynasty Podcast. It's been a while, but we are back. I am your host, Andy Brown, going through the 2004 season of the Patriots Dynasty. And we are finally at the end. We are at the Super Bowl 39 against the Philadelphia Eagles. And with me, I'd say, as always, thank you, are my brothers, Brown, as usual, although it hasn't been as always because it's been a while. Steve, Greg, how are you boys doing?
It's good. It's good to be back. I want to put out there for the record that I watched this game over a month ago, 5 weeks ago, and my two brothers so selfishly decided to have babies, hence our delay. This is not on me. I just want to make sure all of our listeners understand that. If it was up to me, I could record any time.
Except for that week you were in Greece getting engaged. But other than
that. Yeah. Well, the Greece, then the bachelor party, then the 3 weddings back to back. Ooh. Then the trip to Texas, to Austin, then back to Arizona. It was a lot.
So all I'm hearing is I was too popular to do this podcast.
Yes. Well, you guys are just cleaning up shit. I'm creating shit.
Gallivanting around the world. Way to rub it in.
Mm-hmm.
Right, jeez.
And that you can hear is our podcast guest for today.
Correct. This is my buddy Kieran Stowe. Hanging out.
Say what's up, baby. Give him a goo goo gaga for the fans.
No. Come on, do something.
He does
entertain
not
us.
Andy, can you just like slap him around a bit, make him make some noise?
Yeah, give him a little shake or something. Yeah.
Shake the baby.
Speaking of babies, Greg.
It's a delicate line, isn't it, Andy? Shaking a baby.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Because where's the line between bouncing and shaking, right?
Yeah, because bouncing they love
bouncing.
Shaking.
Bouncing.
They're gonna be maldeveloped for the rest of their lives.
Right, yeah. Although
playing with fire.
Yeah, with brown children, I think or the children of us, they're probably gonna have trouble in their life anyway.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, the dumbest one out of all of us.
I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
My son's already a G.
A G, is he?
Oh yeah. He pooped his pants at 30,000 feet today.
Good for him.
That's my boy.
Wait,
just like his dad.
Yeah, Kelly went home to see some family. Pooped his pants on the plane.
Of course,
as you do, right? I mean, isn't that
check that off the list? You know.
If it's not the Mile High Club, what is it?
Yeah.
Mile High Club. Oh shit.
I'm piling it high.
That's the diaper full club.
Whoa.
Brown Bombers.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. I was watching the Thursday night football game last night. The Falcons, the 3-4 Falcons versus the 2-5 Panthers.
Quality football this year.
I watched that too. Yes, riveting.
Yeah, it was unbelievably bad game, like almost unbearable to watch. And they were saying that is it Jake Matthews, the tackle for the Falcons? Like yeah, he had his kid Thursday morning and then drove from Atlanta to Carolina to play in a Thursday night football game against a 2-5 team. I'm like, dude.
Yeah.
Get your priorities straight. Like, who gives a shit? That's why like football is poisoned these dudes' minds, you know?
Oh, for sure.
I can't imagine. Yeah.
That's the American worker psyche, though, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
No, I would never do that in a million years.
Well, that's because
it was his first child too.
Yeah, that's that.
I was like, maybe it's his fourth. No, it was the first one.
It's not like an Antonio Cromartie. He's like, yeah, I'll have another. It's fine.
Yeah, right?
Cromartie makes sense. Yeah.
Plenty
Yeah.
more where that came from.
Exactly. Yeah.
And they gave up
McCann.
like 8 hurries and 3 sacks. He played awful. Like, what is he going to tell his kid? He's like, I'm sorry, I left your mom in her like most needy moment to
Yeah.
fucking give up 3 sacks Thursday night football game in the rain against the 2-5 Panthers. Like, what the
Oof.
fuck, dude?
No one's making a podcast about that game. That's for goddamn sure.
Yeah,
That's
no,
for
I don't
sure.
think so.
So yeah, I watched this Super Bowl after, and quite a palate cleanser.
I was just gonna use that word. Yeah,
Mhm.
this is it was quality football. I think kind of up until the end, until that last drive, but we'll get to that.
Can we all just stop and appreciate that me and Greg watched this whole game? And Andy, did you watch the whole game?
Can't blame the baby either.
Whole thing. Yes, watch me.
Oh, I have a baby, Andy, even
Yeah,
younger
that's what-
child
yeah.
than you.
Yep.
Congratulations, Greg.
Andy off
Hey.
air said the baby doesn't even cry. Like,
He does
what's
it.
your excuse then?
He also doesn't sleep. It's fine. It's all good. Isn't that right, bud?
I guess you're just not as dedicated to this podcast as me and Greg.
I'm just a
Or
better
Jake
father. That's all it
Matthews.
is.
Or Jake, yeah, you need to get more Jake Matthews in you, Andy.
Jake Matthews would have watched it twice.
Steve didn't even watch it, and he doesn't have a kid. He
I
watched it like a
told you,
month
I
ago.
watched this literally 5 weeks ago,
Yeah,
and I watched the 3 games of glory, and I watched the football life.
Did you?
I'm all over this game.
I actually watched it before the Pats played the Eagles in that most recent Super Bowl.
I actually watched it live back in 2004, so y'all can suck
I
it.
think we all did that, Andy.
Yeah, come on.
I don't believe it. Prove it. All right, so then tell me about these Eagles, Steve. Mister.
Oh, I didn't actually watch the game.
I know. So these Eagles were a wagon coming in. They started the season 13-1. Their only loss was
Pittsburgh Steelers, right? Right
Pittsburgh
before we
Steelers.
lost to them. Yeah.
correct. Yeah. So the Pittsburgh Steelers beat the 2 undefeated teams back to back. I think we talked about it earlier in the season, like when we talked about that Steelers game. But yeah, so that was their only loss in the season until they rested their starters for the last 2 weeks of the season, which
Love that.
seems like that's last 1 week you see all the time, but the last 2 weeks, especially because you're going to have the bye going in, right? Because you're the top seed in the NFC, to rest your guys 2 weeks in a row, plus, well, technically 3 weeks in a row. They haven't played football for almost a month.
When did T.O. get injured? I don't know that.
You got injured
December.
early December. Yeah, I think it was
Well,
9 weeks.
We should
since-
explain the injury, right?
Yeah. So yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah, T.O.'s coming. He broke his leg in a December game 7 weeks prior to this Super Bowl. And the
Yeah.
doctors have advised him that he is not like cleared to play.
Yeah, he broke his ankle.
Yeah.
It
It's
was a
wild.
horse collar tackle by Roy Williams, I believe. Yes.
Rest in peace.
Really?
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, how do you know that?
Brutal. Yeah, so this is his first, and you can see him limping around after like every play.
Oh, he was a baller in this game though.
Yeah, he was.
If they had won, this is definitely like the T.O. game, you know?
Yeah, and he gets MVP and et cetera, et cetera.
We had 14 targets,
Yeah,
9 catches, 122 yards
right. On one leg. Pretty
on
good.
one leg. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he have a bunch of like screws in his ankle and stuff too?
I think it screws in a metal plate or something like that in there,
Yeah, something like that.
which is fucking bananas.
Yeah, but to put it in context, right? They made their 4th straight NFC conference game. So they had lost their 3 straight times with Andy Reid.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they're a pretty good team led by their defense. I think their defense was like top 5 in the league for like 4 years running.
They had 3 Pro Bowlers in their secondary.
Yeah. And then they added T.O. in the offseason,
Mhm.
Jermaine Kearse and Jeremiah Trotter start the season 13-1, roll through the playoffs. So they're a wagon, but also I don't know that people trust this
to
Eagles
get over
team.
that hump, right?
Yeah.
So it's almost like the '90s Bills going to 4 Super
Yeah.
Bowls in a row, not winning any of them.
Right.
Had that
And people
similar feel, but not
still,
the championship.
yeah, the Andy Reid thing is still an open-ended question. at this point in his career. Is he
That's
actually
true.
a good coach?
Yep.
Right.
It's a big game for them. I mean, but I think they also kind of like just got over that hump in the NFC Championship game, and they're like,
Right.
let off the gas a little bit, maybe. Yeah, because they're like, whatever happens in the Super Bowl, who cares? At least we didn't lose that fourth one in a row.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know if that's how that works, but it's a possibility.
The Patriots are 7-point favorites.
Right.
So
Too big.
yeah. But that's also considering their best offensive weapon. People didn't expect to get much out of them.
Right. They didn't
So I
even
bet if
expect him to
T.O.
play.
is healthy, that's probably more like 4 or 5. I would
Yeah, it's
think.
pretty. It may. Yeah. It was definitely a swing just based on that. But
yeah.
I was surprised at how good McNabb was this season. They mentioned in the broadcast that he threw 31 touchdowns to only 8 interceptions, and he was the first quarterback to throw 30 plus touchdowns with less than 10 interceptions in a season, which I feel like you see it's like commonplace now. Like the
Right.
30 touchdowns, less than 10 interceptions, like it's what Aaron Rodgers does every year and Brady does every year. But he was the first quarterback to ever do that back in 2004.
How much did he
Yeah.
run? I feel like he was a running quarterback too back.
Oh, he definitely will. Yeah. Yeah. He definitely had that threat. And you kind of saw it a bit in this game where he was able to escape pressure to a certain extent. And he didn't really take off with the ball. He would just kind of escape pressure just to buy his receivers more time. And you saw that kind of on some of the deep balls that happened. Because the Patriots, their game plan was just to bring pressure pretty much every play that it was going to be a pass play. And it worked surprisingly well.
But he's still got a case of the Russell Wilsons, right? Where he's kind of a dork.
That's a good analogy, yeah. And he loves to just like throw that deep looping ball, hope there's somebody down there.
Yeah. And you get the feeling his teammates probably don't like him,
Yeah, there is that feeling, right?
unless
Really?
he's winning. Yeah. If he's winning, they can't say anything.
Yeah,
But like
there-
as soon as he got bad, everything came out of the woodwork, and they're like, "This guy sucks. He's puking on the field in the Super Bowl," which we'll get to later. But I feel like he's hated on now, right?
Well, that's when the Redskins are like, oh yeah, we need this guy.
yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Speaking of the Redskins, who do you think the team's actually going to sell?
No. Dane Snyder has way too much of an ego for that.
But he's already come out and said he's going to sell the team. They're looking into
No, he hasn't. He has done some shit, but he might just sell part of it to raise money to build a new stadium or something.
See what happens because he's now under investigation.
Oh yeah, you think that shit's gonna do anything? Come on.
And us. He's under investigation from us.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, is he?
Yeah,
for sure.
The strong arm of the Patriots Dynasty podcast.
Yes.
Yeah,
Our
the
team
weight
of
of the law
lawyers.
behind us.
That's
Yep.
right. That's right. You tell him, bud. You tell him. I think the other thing that I didn't realize in this game was how pertinent Brian Westbrook was to their offense.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was mostly based around the wide receivers, but it didn't sound like it. It sounded like it was Terrell Owens, obviously, but Brian Westbrook was kind of that. Like they were talking about how it was similar to Marshall Faulk on the Rams offense and how a lot of it ran through him, both in the running game and in the passing game too, which makes sense. Yeah, I remember him being like that passing back, but I didn't realize he was kind of the central piece.
This is his first Pro Bowl, his third year.
Yeah.
He's like a more talented Kevin Falk.
Yes. Oh yeah, I always loved Westbrook
Yeah.
because he like returned punts and kicks, and
Yeah.
I bet he would play defense too if you asked him.
Yeah. Very good player. Who else they got? Lito Shepard was first team All Pro. I did not realize he was that good.
Yeah, I don't think he was. I think they're kind of coasting on reputation. Like Dawkins was in that. He obviously
Dawkins.
is Pro Bowler, right?
Yeah. All Pro.
Sheldon Brown and Michael Lewis were their defensive backs, and it's like 3 of those guys are Pro Bowlers. Sounds like one.
I didn't recognize Lewis, but I remember Sheldon Brown.
Yeah, I remember Sheldon Brown.
I remember Lewis, not Brown. I remember Lito Shepard, sure, but I was never like scared of that guy.
Mm-hmm. Good special teams. David Akers.
Yeah,
I think they have Pro
Green Acres?
Bowler. Yeah.
Yeah.
10 Pro
That was-
Bowlers, 4 All Pros on this team. So,
Dirk
I always loved
Johnson.
Javon Curse too. From
all
when he was on the
names.
Titans, he was so good.
the freak.
Yeah, he was.
Then they had the freight train too, right?
Who's that?
Freddie?
Fred X.
Fred X.
Fred X. Sorry. Yes.
Did he have a catch in this game?
I'm
He
looking
did.
right now
He had one catch in the fourth quarter, I believe.
for 11 yards. Yep.
Yeah.
4 targets.
4 targets, 1 catch. Yeesh.
Let's
Talk to me-
loop back on that one because there are
Sure.
some funny quotes about Fred X.
Dorsey
I was
Levens from the Packers. Remember that guy?
Yeah.
Fullback?
Yeah.
It's
I
gotta
think
be the
he might have been
tailwind.
on the Packers team that beat the Patriots back in the 90s, right?
Possibly.
94. Yep.
Damn.
Through 2001, he was on the Packers, so he was part of that. Yeah, he's a Super Bowl ring.
Yep.
Beating Drew Bledsoe.
Right.
So this
Thought
is
he
really
was
the
gonna
Dorsey
beat that.
Levens revenge game. Yeah.
Dorsey Levens. Patriots revenge against Dorsey Levens. That's
Mhm.
definitely what it was.
Definitely.
So I guess what other storylines do we have going into this game? It's in Jacksonville, which people apparently hated.
Really?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't hear good things about Jacksonville in general.
Well, I mean,
It's
I
gonna
think
be
that kind of
But this was the first. No, I'm saying this was the first time they had a game in Jacksonville, right? The Super Bowl
yeah,
game.
because
Yes.
the Jaguars started 99 or so.
Yeah, something like that.
So this is like 5 years after that stadium's built.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so it's a
and
newish
there's just-
stadium, but apparently it's in like just a desert of entertainment.
Well, have you been to Jacksonville?
No, I'm gonna go to Jacksonville.
have you
Yeah, a couple times.
And
really?
Yeah,
How is
Sucks,
it?
right?
it's just like you don't realize. It sort of makes sense when you look at a map, but it's like rednecky there. A lot of
Yeah.
hicks because it's like just on the border with Georgia, and South
Yeah.
Carolina. It's like real outside of Jacksonville, very rednecky.
no kidding.
It's one of the most populated cities in America.
Really?
Yeah, but like it's like drawn a gigantic circle.
Yeah,
though.
I think that's why.
Yeah. Same with Houston, right? Houston's
Houston's
Yeah.
huge too. Yeah.
huge, but like everyone's just
There's-
building out.
Yeah. Apparently, they had to bring in cruise ships for hotels.
Really?
Yeah, because they didn't have enough hotels there.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, not in Jacksonville, but it's fine. It's not the worst city in
Mhm.
Florida, which is, I know that's a low benchmark. But shout out to Clay County, the countiest county of all the counties, right outside Jacksonville.
What's so county about it?
It's just real hick.
A couple of country boys. You know, I love my country boys. Shout out to all our
Definitely.
country boy listeners.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
We're huge in country
Yeah,
boys.
can you explain to me what a country boy listener is?
I don't know. It's like pornography, Andy. You know one when you see it.
I thought that was fine art, but I guess it works for pornography too.
It works
Yeah,
for a
but-
lot of things, Andy.
Yeah. Other storylines. Paul McCartney, our mother, is going to be performing at
Mother's
halftime.
brother.
Yeah. For those that don't know, our mom just looks like Paul McCartney. That's the joke.
Dude, it's not just our joke. She's told me that people in elevators have asked her if she's related to Paul.
Yeah. And like she has short hair too.
Yep.
So like, and Paul McCartney's kind of feminine looking.
He's a little
Definitely
shaggy
is,
hair,
yeah.
too.
Yeah,
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 he's got
yeah,
longish hair.
They look very similar. It's
Honestly,
Totally,
it's crazy.
honestly,
It's
yeah.
crazy when you see
It's
it.
Surprisingly.
and she's
got-
British.
yeah,
Yeah.
British accent thing.
Totally good. You can't be offended by that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this was kind of the overreaction to the previous Super Bowl, right? Which was Justin Timberlake and Nipplegate and all. Of
Oh,
that.
right. Yeah, they need something
Wardrobe
real safe.
malfunction.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they went with a British mom.
Perfect.
In Jacksonville.
Yeah. With all the rednecks. They loved it.
Yeah. All right. Any other storylines before we get into it? I guess we can talk about the Freddie Mitchell thing because that was
That's
the
storyline
one last
for it.
storyline I can think of is that this is the last game with your offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator.
Oh, that's a good
Tom
point.
Moore,
Yeah.
Charlie
Yeah.
Weiss and Romeo Cornell as well. So
At
this
this
is kind
point,
of their
they were-
last ride as a trio.
And everybody knew it too. It was like already done deals on the outside of it.
Oh yeah, they've already signed to go to Notre Dame and was it Cleveland that Romeo Crennel went to immediately.
Yep.
Neither of them worked out, right?
Oh, that's the theme, right? Maybe like they're sent there to sabotage him, like Josh McDaniels is doing with the Raiders.
Oh, Raiders are so bad.
Yeah.
I think they're punting on the season too.
You think so? Well,
Yeah, they just put a bunch of guys on IR.
Yeah. Like they have no receiving core anymore.
All right. So Freddie Mitchell, Fred X himself, made famous by 4th and 26. That's the only play.
Oh, that was him?
Only football thing I can think of. He was a first round pick, though.
He was?
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
First round pick in 2001 out of UCLA.
This is his last game of his career.
Yeah. His career NFL stats were 90 catches for 1,200 yards and 5 touchdowns. So, bust.
Wait, why does he not play after this year?
Because he sucks. Mitchell held out from the Eagles mini camp in 2005 with Andy Reid stating, "I did not want him here."
Oh, so it wasn't injury related.
Yeah, he was released from the team that May. Yeah, and it sounds like he just practice squatted from there on out.
Wow.
Yeah. So before this game, he sat for a short ESPN interview with Dan Patrick. Said, asked to identify the members of the Patriots secondary, Mitchell claimed he did not know them by name, only by number, and then deliberately stated each of their numbers incorrectly. Finally, he said he had something for safety Rodney Harrison. Well, Harrison has more catches than Freddie Mitchell in this game. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
I guess we could just skip to what Bill Belichick had said, because this is probably the best part of this whole thing. But it was after the game. The normally tight-lipped Patriots head coach Bill Belichick later said of Mitchell, "All he does is talk. He's terrible, and you can print that. I was happy when he was in the game."
Bill Belichick of all people.
Dude, never hear him
talk about.
Yeah, Belichick don't do that.
He never says that.
You never hear him talk badly about anybody.
If anything, if he's really pumping a guy up, you're like, "Oh, that guy sucks."
Yeah, exactly.
You can print that.
Awesome. We were happy when he was in.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Savage. That's why his career ended.
I think so. That Bill Belichick ended that man's career.
Absolutely.
With 2 sentences.
I mean, honestly, I can sort of see Fred X's point of like the secondary was just a mess. And we're starting Randy Gay, the rookie in the Super Bowl.
You're starting
the cornerbacks.
You're starting Troy Brown as your corner.
Slot corner.
I get it.
But how do you not know Troy Brown's name and number? Come on, bro.
Right? He leads the team in interceptions.
And Rodney Harrison is an absolute beast.
Absolutely.
Oh, I think he had the best game of his career, maybe in this game.
If Rodney Harrison gets injured this year, Patriots don't win the Super Bowl without a doubt.
Yeah.
He's the only guy holding that whole secondary back there together.
He was MVP for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
This might be his best game as a Patriot. He's all over the place.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
2 picks.
And he set up another that got called back
defense,
for
12 tackles.
Yeah.
10 of them solo. 3 picks even.
He kind of held the guy up for that forced fumble. He set up an interception before that.
Into the game then.
Let's
talk
do
about
that.
The game now. All right.
Yeah.
Let's just list these Patriots defensive backs just for posterity's sake. Gerard Cherry, Riyab Abdullah, Hank Poteet, Dexter Reed. My God.
Dexter Reed. I had no idea who he was when I saw him show up on the screen.
Dude, Hank
I was like, who the fuck is 42? And why is he playing in a Super
right?
Riyab Abdullah. Dude, I didn't even know this guy was a Patriot.
Yeah. Because Eugene Wilson ends up getting hurt in this game too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So right at the end of the half.
Yeah, you're down your starting safety too.
And that was on the kickoff return. The Eagles kickoff return. So kickoff coverage. And Eugene Wilson was the one that made the tackle and hurt his shoulder somehow. They didn't say what it was. But then they're talking about how that's Belichick's one of the few coaches at the time anyway, who has his starters on special teams, and it makes the special teams better, but it also can create these issues where your guys can get injured, which we've seen with Gronk on the point after attempt to break his arm sort of thing. So,
Coaching mistake.
If you watch the Football Life for this,
Yes, the pregame speech.
Well, it's that, but there's an interview with Belichick where he's like talking about how thin they were, and he's like, we'll be okay. We just don't have a lot of depth. And then he's like, he gets injured on the first 2 minutes of the game. Are you kidding me? Now we have to play the whole game with Troy Brown as our cornerback. And then it went back to how in training camp they had Troy playing cornerback and all that stuff. But yes, the pregame speech.
Yeah,
might
we
be
should talk about that. Yeah,
Yes.
I agree. That pregame speech. I usually, I'm not a Belichick apologist, but that was electric.
You don't say, Greg.
It's the one where they're in a hotel conference room. I think it's the day of the game.
They flew early or something.
Yeah, and he's reading what looks like it's something from a newspaper where Philadelphia had already planned out their parade route and put all the details and whatever and put in a newspaper.
Yeah.
And he's basically just reading all the details of the parade route.
Yeah. Hey, if you want to attend, here's the details.
Super dry fashion. He's like, we're doing a flyover if that's something you're interested in. And
amazing.
That should be fun.
Yeah, it fits his dry delivery perfectly.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, very effective. So yeah, combine that with the FredEx crap. I think you could kind of tell the Pats players were a little fuck you about it.
They were juiced up for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, there was
how do you
even
not respect them. They just, they won 2 of the last 3 Super Bowls. They have the longest win streak in NFL history, and he's sitting over there just shitting on everybody.
And they went 14-2 this season, and still people are. But I also think that with Rodney Harrison especially, they got a lot of mileage out of that whole playing the disrespect card. Nobody respects us and all. And it was probably at this point a little bit overblown. I remember thinking that back in the day of are you though? But I mean, it fucking worked for him. So who am I to say?
For sure. I mean, even if you have to, that's the saying, FedEx and the Philadelphia newspaper, whatever, really didn't need to do that, because they were scrapping and finding any sort of disrespect they could possibly find of Pittsburgh, after they ended our win streak, was celebrate on the sidelines. We wanted to fucking show them what's up. It's yeah, I guess.
Just that's what you do. The Patriots had also planned there.
Yes. To be a good city planner, you have to anticipate things.
Right.
You can't just throw it together at the last minute.
Absolutely. It's like the Super Bowl shirts, the Super Bowl winning shirts. They print it for both teams.
Yeah.
You only ever see one.
Yeah. Belichick's up there holding the Philly Super Bowl shirt. And he's like, can you believe this?
It'll only work once because
Yeah. All right. So first quarter, what do we got? Or do you want to start with the first half? Because it's a pretty quick moving first half.
It was. Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot happening in the first quarter.
Pats are getting outplayed.
Well,
we all agree.
Before they even hike the ball, Belichick goes to the wrong bench.
That's true.
He did.
Walks in their heads,
wrong
bonehead.
They're wait, shit, we got Belichick now too?
Yeah.
Psych.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Although that conspiracy theory, he was just checking to see if there's any communications he could steal.
Yeah, obviously.
Ooh.
Grabbing some documents, taking some pictures, whatever you gotta do.
No big deal. Just cruising the sideline just in case.
It's like engineers that I work with that are really smart, really brilliant, but you ask them to do the simplest thing and they're like, duh.
It's like watching him try to program his the clock in his car on daylight saving.
Oh yeah.
Can't do
that.
that.
That's true. That thing's probably a piece of shit. I'm with him on that.
The other piece we haven't really talked on either at the beginning of this game is Richard Seymour is back, which I think flew under the radar for a lot of people. And it's as big addition as T.O. being back too, I feel.
That's a good point, Steve.
He's a beast. He's great in this game, and their run defense was already really good, and then you add Seymour to that, and it's fucking elite,
Yeah, he was popping off the screen a couple times.
Yeah, especially in the run defense. Yeah,
absolutely.
That run defense looked a whole lot different than it had.
For Westbrook had only 15 carries for 44 yards with a long of
great.
22. So he had 14 carries for 22
like
yards.
22.
That's
Yeah,
that's tough.
Yeah, that feels right to me, right?
not much doing.
We only had 45 yards rushing the whole game. Everybody.
Yeah.
Nothing for McNabb, 1 yard for the fullback. That's it.
Yeah.
Shut that baby up, please.
Yeah, right. Who brought a baby here? That's better.
Well, you
Oh,
don't
no,
have
you
to
just talking
mute
you.
yourself.
Yeah. Goddamn babies. Just ruining everything, you know?
Ruin the
How
podcast.
selfish of you.
dude.
How selfish of you.
It's like he's
Yeah, you tell
staring
him
at
that.
us too.
Yeah, so this first quarter, I think you're right. I understand why you say the it felt like the Eagles were outplaying the Patriots. But I think at the end of the first quarter, like the yardage was the same, weirdly. They both had 40 yards of offense. But I thought the McNabb looked, and I didn't watch a lot of McNabb play, but he looked very like loose with the ball. Like he had one fumble that was overturned on the first drive, like a strip sack,
Yep.
but his knee was down. And then the second or third drive or whatever it was, he drove down, and they got like a ton of penalties to get into the red zone, and then he throws an interception, but that gets called back for
Illegal
something.
contact. So those are fucking soft ass penalty.
a soft ass illegal contact. Yeah, that's like a 2022 illegal contact. Like that you weren't expecting to see that in 2004.
Exactly.
But and then the next play goes and throws an interception again.
Yeah, I love that. That was the best.
So it's just like not.
McNabb
I mean,
looked
and that
like
was his
shit.
first red zone interception of the season. So I don't know what was going on. I don't know if maybe the situation was too big for McNabb, but he didn't look like this world-beating 30 touchdown, 8 interception guy to me. At least in the first
No,
quarter.
he didn't look very good at all. He had a bunch of bad throws.
Yeah,
Could've
he
had a couple
was like missing
interceptions.
guys. I think the Patriots defense doing a pretty good job of like blowing up the screens as well, which was sounded like a big part of the Eagles' offensive game plan, throwing those screens to Westbrook and stuff. There was one play where the commentators actually caught it too. I saw it happen, and I think it was Roman Pfeiffer saw that it was going to be a screen pass and just turned around and blew up Brian Westbrook, just like laid him out. And McNabb's like, "Oh shit." And so he tried to scramble, and Rodney Harrison came screaming in and caught his leg and just like flipped him upside down. And that was a fantastic play.
My first quarter note is what a terrible throw by McNabb. That's like his 5th of the first quarter. He was not like maybe he's nervous
Yeah,
or
he
whatever he
struggled.
was, but he did not look like a NFL MVP quarterback out there.
Yeah, I agree.
But the Patriots look just as bad, right? They didn't move the ball
No,
at all.
It's not good.
No, yeah. I feel like the Patriots were trying to take some deep shots too, and they just weren't quite working. But that Eagle blitz, I think, was pretty potent, especially with that front line that they had. So they were even talking about how Brady was going to, what'd they call it? The molasses count, I think he called it, where he would go through his cadence once and try to get the defense to commit to show like who the blitzes were and where they were coming from. And then he would reset and do it again. And he's like, "Oh, look, it seems to be working." And I'm like, it hasn't worked yet. Like they're still getting the pressure and the blitzes are still getting home. But I think they started to figure out as the game went on more than anything.
Yeah, Patriots first 4 drives, 4 plays punt, 3 plays punt, 3 plays punt, 3 plays punt, 8 plays fumble.
Oops.
Yeah.
So bad start. Eagles not that much better. 3 and out, 10 plays interception, 3 plays fumble. So the first 4 or 5 drives from each team, not great.
No,
Not great.
it was
For
kind of like a
stumble by Randall
typical.
Gay.
It was a typical first quarter of a Patriots Super Bowl, right? Like, how long did it take for Tom Brady to throw a touchdown pass in the first quarter of a Super Bowl?
I think
But he went to Tampa.
was it? Yeah,
In the Chiefs Super Bowl. It was the first time he threw a first quarter touchdown.
which is absolutely wild.
It was bananas. But yeah, and then the scoring started. In the second quarter, the Eagles hit a big play to Todd Pinkston. Do you have an ESPN a Berman name for him, Greg?
No, do you?
Oh, I always thought it was like Weirdly, like pink eye, you know?
I always thought it was like 2 in the Pinkston, but maybe not.
Oh, okay. Different approaches.
I don't think that was a Bourbon-ism, but I feel like I've heard that.
no. Todd Pink Eye Pinkston or Todd 2 in the Pinkston. I like yours a lot better.
I don't think I can claim that. I don't think it was mine.
Oh, whatever, Andy. Come on, you just got to claim it anyways.
It's like one of those fantasy
Definitely
names.
mine. Yeah, oh yeah, that's probably
Yeah.
where it came from. Yes.
I need a good fantasy hockey name if you got anything.
I didn't realize people play fantasy hockey.
I didn't either. I just drafted all the Bruins guys.
Okay.
That's
Worked out
actually
for
probably a
you
good
this year.
plan this year. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Tearing it up.
well, I also bet on the Bruins before the season started. $44 at plus 2,800. I always bet on 44. Dude. It's the best number to say. The best colors: copper, aqua, orange,
What a baller, Steve!
Orange.
$44.
Aquamarine.
Dude.
Silva.
You think the bookie will ever be able to recover if the Bruins win?
No chance.
I'm the new mattress Mac, baby.
God.
Sports betting is the new fantasy team
It is.
thing,
I agree.
where it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, people are like, dude, I fucking bet $6 on this. It's like, all right, dude. All right, man. Sick.
My $12 38 thing parlay.
Yeah.
I don't
Dude,
care.
I almost hit it. If
Yeah, exactly. I
the
missed it
other
by 2
games
gigs.
went the right way. And you're like, all right, okay.
Can you believe Derrick Henry didn't run for 4 touchdowns?
By the way,
Speaking of
my team is
touchdowns,
sick this year. 7-1, no big deal.
I'm sorry. What was that, Greg?
Nothing, dude.
nobody gives a fuck.
Second quarter, first score. The Philadelphia
Yeah, first
Eagles,
goal
yes.
was off the deep ball to Pinkston. That was the play I was thinking of when I was talking about. Yeah, when I was talking about McNabb being able to buy more time, because even the commentator was like, "Well, that's something that the Patriots don't see when they play Peyton Manning," because he avoided a sack, basically stepped up in the pocket and then chucked the deep ball. Kind of similar to what you see in like every game now from even like a Zach Wilson, kind of like stepping up, but like throwing on the run as he's stepping up in the pocket. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It was one of
Mac
those like,
Jones don't do that.
chucking that deep ball. No, he doesn't. Doesn't do a lot, but that's fine. Give him time.
Zappy.
No.
Zappy.
Jesus. One of those.
A shit stir? Yeah.
Oh yeah, you were definitely. You're calling into Boston sports talk. all
Let's
the
be
time.
honest. They both suck. But
Hi, this is Greg from North Carolina.
Zappy's more fun because it's got a fun name.
First time, long time.
When do we see Zappy, do you think?
Yeah, dude. We got to fire Belichick.
Someone's got to say it. You know,
Can we
hate
get
Matt
Felger to
Patricia.
take over the Patriots?
Yeah,
He's got some good ideas.
Felger for GM.
Literally saw that on Twitter today. That's the only reason I came up with it. So yeah, but then that kind of sparked the Patriots to get their shit together. Where they would go on their touchdown drive and the ensuing drive. I think it was.
sounds like they figured out like the screen was the play. I
Yes.
feel like they hit like 2 or 3 of those in a row on that
To
next
Corey
drive.
Dillon.
To Corey Dillon
yeah,
of all people.
to
Yeah.
Corey
It's not
Dillon,
really
yeah.
their usual. They're trying to
Right.
find
And
it.
then later on that drive, you had a couple of runs by Kevin Falk, like, under center, sort of like running between the tackles, which was weird to see.
They were
as well.
zigging when they should have been zagging, right? Screens
They were
Corey
weird-
Dillon
yeah, exactly.
runs up the gut with Kevin Falk.
So just kind of keeping that.
Mhm.
I'm guessing it was like a matchup thing too, because who was the middle linebacker for the Eagles? Trotter, yeah.
From the Redskins.
Apparently they were saying that-
Jeremiah. He was a bullfrog. I don't know if you knew that.
was he?
Jeremiah? Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
The bullfrog. Okay.
Jeremiah was a bullfrog.
Yes.
What the fuck are you talking about?
You know what my favorite jokes are? The ones you have to explain.
Steve
Is this like a little kid's book or something that I'm not aware of?
dude?
Steve.
Andy, can you overlay that
The song? Yeah.
when you release this?
I'll try to remember that. Yeah.
You would definitely not, but
I might. I've done it, but in
Yeah.
the past, but I probably won't.
You probably
Yeah. So with Jeremiah Trotter, they're talking about how great the run defense had been as soon as they put him in at run defense. I think it was actually after the Steelers game when the Steelers put up like 200 and something rushing yards on him. and the bus just like ran down their throats in the second half. And then they put Trotter in it because I think he was maybe a rookie or like this his first year on the team.
Really? I
And,
thought he came from the Redskins, or maybe it was actually, if knowing the Redskins, they're probably like, oh,
It's
wow,
probably
he's a
the other
good name. Let's just sign him to
They
a
got
contract that's way too much.
Right, yeah, after he burns out here. But yeah, and then I think they started averaging like 50 yards less rushing yards against per game with him at middle linebacker. So I'm wondering if the Patriots saw that, and every time Corey Dillon was on the field, Trotter was on the field, and when he wasn't, So you put Kevin Falk in there, you don't have Trotter, you can run up the middle, sort of thing.
So I just looked up Trotter. This is kind of funny. This will make you laugh, Steve. So he was drafted by Philly, was an all-pro at the tail end of his rookie contract, then signed with Washington, sucked for 2 years, came back to Philly, and was
That's a
good again.
classic.
Oh, it's even better. Even better.
Awesome, dude.
Maybe it's not the
Awesome.
player. It's the Patrick
Ain't
Chung
no way.
move right there, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, no shit. Oh my God.
Kyle Van Noy.
Yeah. Jamie Collins again. And
Yeah.
again. So yeah,
JC
Actually,
Jackson.
the Patriots put together a couple drives in the second quarter. The first one was they drove inside the Philly 10, but then Brady fumbled the play action. Like went to go like fake the handoff and drop the football, which the commentators were talking about how, oh, well, in the Super Bowl, they switch out the ball every play. So those balls are really slick.
And
So-
probably inflated too much.
Oh, for
Mm.
sure.
That's what it is.
But
Mhm.
we'll throw
No,
that
for real.
back.
This is people would say that like the fumbling thing was the big thing.
what
This
the Patriots
supports-
didn't fumble.
Right, because they had the less inflated balls.
Okay.
So this would be evidence towards that theory, yes, that if they didn't have their special balls, they're fumbling.
Sure.
Cool.
Except that after
You guys got awfully defensive there for a second. Feels
except after Deflategate happened, the Patriots still fumbled at less of a rate than the rest of the NFL on par with how it was before Deflategate.
yeah, but that's because they were still deflating footballs. They just got better at hiding it.
Is that right? Even though it was supposed to be
Mhm.
tested every game
Mhm.
after every play.
Yeah,
They're-
do you know
they're
the
testing
ideal
them every
gas law? Oh, he's called out.
It's not cold in Jacksonville.
That's right. Fumble.
That's right.
And he fell right on top of that shit and didn't
And
get
still
it.
didn't come up with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was one of those hilarious things where there's a huge dog pile of people, and it's like before the penalty of like dragging people off. So like
Yeah.
Dawkins is like grabbing people by the legs, dragging them, and then like some dude squirms out with the football. He's holding it up, and no one notices, and the refs are still like over. And eventually they look up and they're like, "Oh shit, that guy's got the ball." He's like 30 yards down.
Yeah, he's celebrating the other end of the
Yeah, they're
field.
like, okay, I guess it's Eagles' ball.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
That
pull the
shit
pile off.
always
There's
kinda-
no ball at the bottom of it.
Yeah.
Like, what?
I
the
feel like
fuck?
that happens all the time too.
Oh yeah, it does.
Just
yeah.
like some random dude on the side of the pile comes away with it. And you're like, how the hell did
Exactly.
he get it?
This is
all
this thing a
of it.
fucking greased up pig.
So that was the first good drive,
Fumble.
but they're actually putting together some ball movement, and then get the ball back and do it again. Throw a touchdown at Givens, which was a nice pass, nice catch.
Did you see him stunt on the Eagle fans?
Oh
Yes. Yeah. People remember this kind of an iconic thing where he puts the football down, steps on it, and does the big
yeah.
eagle
Flaps
wing
a couple times,
flapping of the
Yep.
things.
and then flexes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Did you see the I don't know if it was kind of like the do your job. They had like a behind the scenes thing on this Super Bowl too.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Because they talk about like the practice. They had that play in. It was supposed to be like Fourier right over the middle, and he falls over.
Yep.
And then the second read is Deion Branch to the left, and he was double covered. So Givens was actually the third read on that play. And it's like that was Brady's best throw of the day, I thought.
Because he had to come all the way back across
Yeah.
and throw it like
He's throwing across. His feet aren't squared to where he's
Right.
throwing it.
Yeah.
And there's a guy right there that if he underthrows that,
Mhm.
and he does it, and his feet aren't right, so it's easy to underthrow it. And he just beautifully like lays it over this defender, and Givens just like takes one step and whoop,
It's from the 4-yard line too. It's not a lot of room there either. And if he underthrows that guy's going the opposite way.
Yeah, he's going
yeah,
that. Yeah.
He's going 100 yards.
Unbelievable throw. I mean, probably a bad decision because that guy's sitting there staring right at Brady and he's throwing it all the way across the field.
True.
Off balance. I bet like 9 times out of 10 that doesn't work out. But
it just goes to show you, like, Tom Brady has, exactly. He has underrated arm talent, I think.
He does. That was an arm talent throw.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And then the Patriots, as they are wont to do, come out in the second half. First drive straight down the field, 9 plays, 4 minutes, 69 yards. Nice. Score a touchdown. And now they're up. They're gone from being down 7 to up 7. And that's that whole, what do they call it? The middle 8, I think they call it now. Like a whole philosophy of like scoring before the half and after the half.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to get your things there. And it worked there.
And guess who scores a touchdown?
Who?
His second Super Bowl touchdown, which would piss me off if I was a tight end. Mike Vrabel just hoovering up all this like accolades on the fucking offensive side of the ball.
No shit.
And to not even do anything.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they're when you're down in that spot. Like, it's not, I mean, to be fair, this was a great catch. He's being mauled to the ground.
Yeah.
And he still had to like bat it up in the air and then come down with it. It was a nice catch.
Yeah.
And there was a penalty on the play too.
Oh yeah. It was defensive holding.
I don't get what goes into this decision though. Is Mike Vrabel that much better than a tight end at that play? Is that why he's in there?
I don't know.
It's gotta be, right? I mean, his release is pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, maybe there's, it's something that from what I remember hearing, he advocated for playing tight end in those short yardage situations for himself.
Sure.
Like, he's like, I can catch.
I'm sure plenty of defensive players.
Oh, exactly. That's what they're saying. But he was able to back it up in practice. So they're like, coach is like, yeah, fuck it. Let's see what you can do. And then he did it and he was actually okay. And so I think it was one of those things where they just kept letting him do it until he failed and like, all right, now you're done now. And he just kind of never did. So it just like kept happening until like, he's taking snaps away from Christian Fourier in the fucking Super Bowl.
I'd be pissed.
Yeah.
But I guess also there's something towards like, just like players that have it,
right. Yeah.
Of like, they just seem to make big plays. Yeah. And it's not like a physical thing or like he has the tools. Like, it's not like that hard to catch. Thing. Right. It's just like, you know what you're going to get when you put this player out there.
Oh,
and
for
he's
sure.
Like, you can rely on him.
He does his job.
Moment. Yeah.
I mean, it's Tom Brady too, right? He's always had that extra gear.
And also, like, maybe in practice, Fourier didn't make those catches and Vrabel was making those catches, right?
Yeah.
Practicing goal line or whatever.
Where Fourier might be a more talented player, but you don't know if you can rely on him.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but either way.
Which sucks even more if he's taking your Super Bowl touchdowns and the coach doesn't trust you. It's probably like, oh, gosh. This sucks.
And now Fourier's on EEI talking shit about Belichick. It's perfect. Full circle.
Good. I like that.
And Mike Vrabel's coaching the Titans.
Right.
Could be coach of the year this year.
Yeah.
Could be.
Vrabel's awesome.
He's awesome. I think he's a really good coach too.
Yep. I wonder if he's interested in the Patriots when Belichick's done.
Eyebrow waggle.
Yes. Sorry, I forgot this is a audio medium.
Yes, it is. Good job. So Patriots score to go up 14-7. Eagles answer back a couple of drives later with their own McNabb pass to Brian Westbrook.
Ill-advised McNabb pass.
Yeah, he snuck it in there. But it got there.
That was a great throw.
Yeah.
That was the best throw of the day.
It was up there.
It's comical how off balance he is.
Yeah.
For no real reason either. It was like there's pressure and he's like falling backwards on one foot.
And
like
just
sidearm just slings this thing. It's almost like he like forgot that he had to throw it and there was like, oh shit, fucking
yeah.
And there's like one of those plays where there's like a defender on each side and there's a window of maybe a yard that he can put that ball in, and
he
he
did
just
it.
stuck it in there.
They hummed it. Yeah.
Yeah,
It was a good throw.
that was an incredible play.
Yeah.
Didn't look great.
No.
No, but it worked. It was
Yeah,
effective.
but he got the job done.
Yeah. It's a tie ball game going into the fourth quarter. But then Patriots answer back, driving into the fourth quarter, right?
Yep.
Driving down.
And the third, start of the fourth, they
Exactly.
drive down.
Yeah.
This is where Deion Branch starts to make his presence felt too, as well, right?
Just making catch after
This
catch.
second half, he was all over the place.
He borderline uncoverable. Yeah, they
Yeah.
I don't know if they went to man or whatever it was, but he's just like he was just open on every play.
For his second Super Bowl in a row.
Yeah. And then there was one catch which I would argue is the catch of the pass of the game, where Brady puts it just over the hands of the defensive back into Deion Branch's hands, like literally inches. And
It
somehow,
reminded me of Julio Jones.
in the Falcons Super Bowl, yeah,
Mm.
like
Falcons Super
just it
Bowl,
was just
where
the
you're like,
only
this guy's
place-
covered. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
he threw it anyway, and he made the
Yeah.
catch, and it was just like you had to watch a replay to be like, wait, why wasn't that an interception? I don't understand.
a great
12
catch too.
targets, 11
it.
catches, 133 yards.
Mhm.
But yeah, and that 11 catches on 12 targets. Like he caught
Yeah.
almost
Oh, yeah.
everything.
Just, I don't know, throw it to Dion.
Yeah, fuck it, right? Dion's down there somewhere.
Against Lito Shepherd, no less.
Yeah, Pro Bowl, Lito
Pro
Shepherd.
Bowl, Lebo,
All
Leo
pro.
all pro.
Yeah.
Whoops. So
So yeah, they end that drive, start of the fourth, touchdown, Corey Dillon, bulldozer.
Yeah.
Runs through Brian Dawkins too, which I
Yeah.
thought was a nice little
Yeah.
touch there.
That's the thing. The Patriots could sort of run it, and the Eagles could not.
yeah, which was a little bit surprising, but not. I guess the Eagles are more of a pass first team anyway, but like seeing them not be able to run it at all was a little surprising.
Dylan had 75 yards on 18 carries. Kevin Falk had 38 on 8.
Pretty good.
Yeah, so they're over 100 for the game. It's not bad.
And then they combined for 5 catches and 50 yards as well.
So you got a lot out of your running back, which you always do in the Patriots offense, right? Like that's what you expect to see. But then I felt like the Patriots went a bit conservative. Went 3 and out a couple times after, they
Yeah.
went and kicked.
McNabb throws an interception. Brewski.
Yeah.
Bruce. And then Patriots immediately turn around and punt it back to him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the interesting stuff starts if you're an Eagles fan. So the situation is there's 5 minutes and 40 seconds left. It is a 24-14 game, right? You have the ball on your own 20-yard line.
2 scores, right?
2-score game. 5.5 minutes. They start driving and everything's dink and dunk underneath, yada, yada, yada. They get to midfield and there's like under 3 minutes left.
Yeah, they were like closing in on the 2-minute warning now.
Yeah. And they're just walking. They're huddling after every play.
There's no urgency. It's almost like they feel like it's only a 1-score game and this is the score that they have to do.
Yeah, they're running their 5-minute offense.
Yes.
Right.
And it doesn't seem to make sense. All the commentators are like, what's going on? They're like huddling and then walking to the line after they huddle.
Yeah.
This is any urgency. You just know Eagles fans are at home like screaming their heads off.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That football life, they interviewed Belichick and he's like, I had to double check the score. I was like, did I get the score wrong? Are they not down 2 scores?
Yeah. And he was like, I never figured it out. He's like, usually I can come up with like a reason why. And he's like, I still to this day have no idea why they did that.
Ridiculous.
And this is where the McNabb puking stuff origin is, right? It's this drive where there's like some people were saying he was puking in the huddle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other people are saying that he was like mumbling and like couldn't get the play call out and that like other players had to call the plays for him. Other people were like, yeah, he was just really tired.
So here, let me read you the part about it on wikipedia.org. Anecdotal reports later came out alleging that McNabb was suffering from dry heaves, and teammates John Ritchie and Lito Shepard have gone on record years later that McNabb was suffering from dry heaves or vomiting, though no video evidence exists and the stories have not been confirmed. Hank Fraley said in an interview the day after the game that McNabb was almost puking due to 2 large hits from Teddy Bruschi and Jarvis Green on back-to-back plays. McNabb himself denies that he was vomiting or dry heaving during the final drive, and Brian Westbrook later claims that McNabb was merely coughing.
But he apparently used to cough all the time during play
really?
calls. That's what I read too. It's like that was not uncommon for him to be like have coughing fits in the game.
Okay.
But coughing fits enough that like he couldn't call the play.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know. That still isn't an
I
excuse.
I think he's hurt. I think he took 2 big hits.
Yeah,
and was
they
like
were big hits,
woozy, and was like, oh fuck. And that makes sense. Then you're not like rushing. Like if you're like don't know where you are, it's hard to run a 2-minute hurry up offense, you know?
right?
So that kind of fits that too.
And yet he still ended up throwing a 30-yard like strike for a touchdown with minute 40 something left,
just after the 2-minute warning.
Yeah. 140.
So really, that's not the reason they lost the game.
No.
But I think in hindsight, a lot of people look back and be like, 1, Andy Reid does not manage a clock. 2,
right.
McNabb pukes when things get tough.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a bad rap because they end up scoring a touchdown on the drive, but still. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. They didn't give themselves a great chance for putting
and it wasn't a
drive
good look. You know, you got the whole of America watching and you're just like walking around.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, what are you doing?
It's tough.
Yeah.
So they score the touchdown. Patriots recover the onside kick. Christian Fourier, I guess.
You have to.
Well,
that's the other part.
What's that?
Do you have to onside kick?
That's what I'm saying. You have all.
I don't know if that.
No, they only have 2 timeouts.
2 timeouts. A minute 46 left.
148.
155.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever.
I don't know.
You could kick it deep, and it's 35 seconds on the play clock. 45.
Yeah, you get it back with
You
a
get a
minute.
minute.
But you don't get the ball back. Yeah,
with
you get the ball back closer to midfield. Hopefully, if you hold them
right. And instead, they ended up with 46 seconds left on their own 4-yard line.
Right.
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 It's the same turnaround. You just get it at midfield. Right.
And all you need is a field goal, though, right? So you only need to go 20 yards, whatever it is, instead of having to go.
You got to kick it there.
I agree.
Yeah, I think that may have been what lost it for him.
I think it's a different league now too in terms of that stuff.
Good point.
Yeah,
you know, we're like modern offense. If you gave like Patrick Mahomes 46 seconds and all you need is a field goal, you could have a 4-yard line, 1 yard. I don't give a shit.
He's done it with 13.
He's gonna do that, and he's gonna move the ball fast. I feel like back then it was much more like we need way more time.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, things the offense just wasn't. They
don't have the explosive players to like. Yeah.
Even so, though, that's even more reason to kick it deep and hope you can get it back.
Yeah,
right.
At
Absolutely.
midfield and chew up a bunch of that field position game there.
Yeah, but they didn't.
So they didn't. The ball. Some of the Patriots punt it, right?
Yeah. So they
didn't have anyone back to catch it.
Right. Yeah. They were just coming all in. And I found a quote from Josh Miller, the punter, about that play.
Okay.
So this is what he said. He goes, the Super Bowl for me is my all-time. Here's the best coach in the world, hands down, and we have such a funny moment in Jacksonville in 2004. The night before, I'm not religious, but I prayed to God. Listen, God, I don't even care if we lose. Just don't make me be the reason. Just get me a decent game, and if we win, fantastic. But if not, I understand. Just don't let me be the thing that people see for the next 20 years. So here I am with 20 seconds left on the field, and there's timeout after timeout after timeout. I'm sitting there on the field like, Jesus, this is not where I want to be right now. So it was a long timeout. Belichick says, Miller, come here. I'm like, what's up, coach? He's like, listen, just get rid of the ball. I don't care where it goes. I'm like, okay, fantastic. Easy enough. I'll do that. I'm running back on the field. He's like, Miller, come here. If you can get inside the 10, that's obviously what we're looking for. I'm like, okay. And as I'm running out, he's like, forget it. Listen, just get rid of the effing ball, please. Josh, don't drop it. I'm like, don't drop it? That's what you tell me? He was like, yeah, that was dumb.
That's awesome.
That's such a good story.
Yeah.
Belichick would be like, oh yeah, that was Steve. I should have said that to you.
Yeah. Fucking jinxed it.
That just made it worse, didn't it?
Yep.
However, what happened?
He drops it on the 4-yard line.
Yeah, didn't drop the
fucking
ball,
Drops a dime.
punted it.
And Dexter Reed, the guy who got burnt on the touchdown,
Yeah,
is the one that downed it.
Yeah, perfect.
Redemption story.
Absolutely.
So they have 46 seconds left to go. Well, they need a
they
field
kick a
goal,
field goal.
and they're on their
Yeah,
own 4-yard
60
line.
yards. Well, 70
60 yards or so,
whatever it is. Yeah. And they don't.
And they immediately blow it.
Like immediately.
McNabb to Brian Westbrook for 1 yard inbounds, no timeouts. Tick, 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 tick.
And then incomplete to Terrell Owens, and then intercepted. Overthrows LJ Smith by like 3 yards. Can of corn for Rodney Harrison, who returns it for 6 yards, falls on the ground to end the play, then gets up flapping. Which
hits him with the flap.
Yeah, which
tackle
I think
made by Fred X.
Is
Fred
the
X got a
picture that
tackle.
I remember from the Super Bowl is that picture of him like running with the entire defense behind him,
Mhm.
doing the flap. Rodney Harrison. Absolutely amazing.
Game over, dynasty.
Yeah. The first time the Patriots get to take a knee to end a Super Bowl.
Hmm.
I believe there was only one other time they got to do that. And it was in their last Super Bowl.
The Rams one.
They were able to take a knee at that one. So,
And then
Well,
nice
Seattle.
Gatorade bath for Stevie B.
yeah. Yeah, for Bill and his dad.
Yeah.
Which
Brewski
I
was
remember
like,
seeing like people giving them flack for that because his dad's so old and like his heart doesn't work so well. Like, why are you dousing him in Gatorade? It's like, bro, it's
kind
the
of-
Super
kind
Bowl.
of fair.
Yeah, who the fuck cares? Like, it's a Super Bowl.
I
If
don't
that's the
know.
way I'm going out, that's the
Frail
way
old
I'm
man.
going out.
Yeah.
Getting a fucking Gatorade bath at the Super Bowl after having won it. Yeah, I'm cool with that.
His dad died later that year too.
And also, Brady's grandparent, I can't remember which grandfather.
Grandma.
Yeah, died like the week leading up to this game. So, meant a
Also,
lot.
Brewski had his stroke like 3 weeks later.
That's true.
Because on the plane back from this game, Brady and Brewski were sitting next to each other talking about how they were going to be the first team to ever win 3 Super Bowls in a row because they were bringing everybody back. And then shortly afterwards, Brewski has his stroke. It's like, oh fuck.
Also, Corey Dillon hurt his nose. If you know what I mean.
I don't know what you mean.
Yeah.
Explain.
Did
it
a
to
bunch of blow?
Yeah.
Really?
I don't know. He sounds like the type of guy who'd win a Super
You're
Bowl.
just
Do a
throwing
bunch of
around
blow.
unsubstantiated
God,
shit.
Greg, you just
Rumors full cloth.
yeah.
Unbelievable.
Hurt my nose.
Unbelievable.
He probably would. He'd get down. Dylan?
You're just slandering people.
Right?
If you
Just
had to
in
ask
libel
one,
territory.
if you had to ask
Yeah,
one player on this roster for drugs, who would it be?
Kevin Falk?
Sante Samuel.
Oh, Sante's a good one
Yeah.
too.
Oh yeah.
Sante's
Ty
a
Law.
good one.
They all got caught coming back from
Ty Law, maybe.
they got caught coming back from Montreal, remember?
Mm-hmm.
2 of them. And Kevin Falk got caught with weed at the Wheezy
Yeah,
concert.
but weed's not drug though.
Yeah, fair enough. Probably Tom Brady, actually.
No,
Dark horse
absolutely
Tom
not.
Brady.
Rodney
Absolutely.
Harrison. He's a psychopath.
Harrison, maybe.
Well, I mean, if you count HGH as a drug, then yeah.
Willie McGinnis.
No.
No, he's
I think sneaky. He is a bad boy. He just knows how to be a good guy in front of the cameras.
No, I don't buy it.
Tully.
Don't let mom hear you say that.
yeah.
What? I mean, bad boy in the best way.
Okay. Okay.
Free spirit, you know?
Yeah. Sure.
Will Fork.
Nah.
No. He's
No,
definitely not.
definitely
a bad
not.
boy.
No, he just chills at home.
Food are
smokes
his
meat,
drugs, man.
Yeah,
So
and
that's his
fucking
vices. It's
eating
food.
ribs. Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking loves it. Andy Reid.
Did you hear Collinsworth as they're like storming the field just throw a shot at the Browns?
No.
What did he say?
He said something to the effect of like, who would have thought the head coach that was like had two losing seasons in Cleveland would
Jesus.
now have like the best playoff winning percentage ever. And he's like, you got to think there's fans out there in Cleveland scratching their heads right about now. And this is like as they're running on the field. I was like, Jesus, dude, that's like
read the room, bro.
You saved this up for now.
Yes,
Yeah.
picking them while they're down, man.
Yeah.
You save that for the next time the Patriots play the Browns. Like, what are you doing?
If I was a Cleveland fan, I'd be like, dude, what the fuck?
Just catching strays.
Yeah.
Right? Jesus Christ. Although I have to imagine Cleveland fans are like, yeah, about right.
Yeah, they're used to it. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Of course, we fucking give up the best coach in history.
Yeah. Because he couldn't keep the team winning. Because the last coach to coach the Browns to a playoff victory before, was it last year when the Browns beat the Steelers, was Bill Belichick back in the 80s. And then the next year, the Browns announced that they were moving the team halfway through the season. And so the team fell apart, and then they fired Belichick, even though they told them they were going to keep him when they moved to Baltimore. So, typical Brown shit.
Mm-hmm.
And
Browns
then
been Brown.
Yeah. And then the Ravens went on to become a Super Bowl champion in the early 2000s, right after Belichick left, with some of that core team and some of their draft picks. Belichick was the guy who wanted to draft Ray Lewis, apparently. And so there's a good chance that the reason Ray Lewis is a Raven was because of Bill Belichick.
I don't buy those. Yeah, he wanted this guy.
But apparently he did.
Yeah, who's the guy from the Colts that said that he wanted Tom Brady?
Yeah, but that was a 6th round pick, not a 1st round pick.
I ain't buying any of those stories.
Of course not. I'll buy it when it's Belichick.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, yeah, I'll believe those.
Of course you will.
Yeah, he can do no wrong. So,
Yeah.
he doesn't know how to lie. He's too much of a truth teller. He's one of those people.
All right, you want to hear my notes on Terrell Owens?
Give me your notes on Terrell Owens.
Absolutely.
Okay. Terrell Owens, if you had to guess where he is all time in yards, receiving yards, where would you say he falls on that list?
He's like
Top
surprisingly high, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's like top
Mhm.
5 or top 10 or something.
He is 3rd all time in
God
receiving yards. Can you guess 1 and 2?
Jerry Rice,
Yeah.
Mhm.
number 1.
I don't
Randy
think you're gonna.
Moss?
No,
Michael Irving.
no, you're not gonna get it. I was shocked.
Is it somebody from our time frame?
Yeah, recently retired, like a year or 2 ago.
Oh, I know it.
Who is it?
Calvin Johnson.
Nope.
Damn it.
Larry Fitzgerald.
Oh yeah, because he played for so
Oh.
goddamn long. Wow.
Yeah, Moss is 4. He's 3rd all time in touchdowns. 1 and
Behind
2.
Moss, right?
Yeah, Moss and Rice.
Yeah.
8th all time in receptions. This is like the peak of his career, 2000, 2004.
Yeah.
So the tail end of his San Francisco, his last 4 years, and then his first year here were his best years. He had like 5 Pro Bowls, 4 first team All Pros. He was averaging like 1,313 touchdowns a year.
Jesus.
He technically got traded to the Eagles, but not really.
What?
So apparently he's going to be a free agent.
Yeah.
The 49ers were sick of him because he was just kind of a pain in the ass. And then his agent forgot to file the paperwork. So he signed a deal with the Eagles, but it wasn't legit because he was still a member of the Niners. So then the Niners quickly traded him to Baltimore. So Baltimore thought they were getting him for a while. And then like the players union, like fucking had him like, do a arbitration thing. And there's some settlement where like Baltimore got like a 2nd round pick out of it because they were like, this is bullshit.
Yeah. Good Lord.
So yeah, a couple of his off the field antics, like obviously he was really good, but
yeah.
He had the pom-poms, right? The popcorn,
Yeah.
Sharpie and the sock. He was like the
These are
first
all
one to
great.
do that.
That was my favorite.
Yeah. The Dallas Star, which he did twice that game.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
One
Got
I had
leveled on the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did the Ray Lewis one.
Yes.
And then after the game, they asked him about it, and he was like, "Yo, Ray Lewis like killed 2 people." He's like, "I didn't do it. I didn't kill anybody." I was like, "Hell yeah, brother." He did that Monday Night Football skit that we talked about earlier this year with the housewives.
Yeah.
It was really
yeah.
suggestive.
Yeah,
He got a lot of
Yes.
shit for that.
Exactly.
He implied Jeff Garcia was gay
Oh yes.
in an interview with Playboy.
Yeah, what does he do? You missed one of the.
We're still going through the list, Andy.
Okay, all right. One of his celebrations.
Which one? I'm done with my cellies.
I guess in 2007 when he was playing for the Cowboys, when they were playing the Patriots, he caught a touchdown. Actually, no, it was after he was playing the Dolphins, but he
The filming.
he hid behind a field goal post and held the football to his
Yes.
face as if he was like video camera. It's
Hilarious. Hilarious.
Great.
Yeah, that's a
Pretty
good one too. So yeah, in Playboy, they I don't know why they asked if he thought Jeff Garcia was gay, which seems like a weird question to ask in the first place.
Mhm.
But he said, like my boy tells me, if it looks like a rat and smells like a rat, by golly, it's a rat.
Jesus. That's a tough look.
And
Yeah,
then he was like, I never said he was gay. It's like, dude,
Yeah.
You just called him a rat.
it's not very ambiguous what you said.
Yeah,
there.
right.
Yeah,
And you
yeah.
got to use the duck one there too. You can't go
Yeah.
rat.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, it's a
I think
duck.
he's mixing up his metaphors as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Woof.
So yeah, and then after this Super Bowl is when it all crashed and burned in Philadelphia too.
Oh, really?
So they all loved him. He broke his ankle, got out there, played the game. But if you saw in the game, they were bitching at each other, him
Yep.
and McNabb.
Yep.
That continued on. The beginning of next year, he held out of training camp because he wanted more money.
Makes sense.
And then Andy Reid suspended him.
Oh.
And then that's when he was doing the workout in his driveway.
Oh,
That's a
okay.
classic.
Yeah. And he was like, I'm a team player, bro.
Yeah.
I do what's best to the team. He's sitting there doing push-ups in his driveway. Just fucking hilarious.
Oh yeah.
And then McNabb was interviewed and he said, I think we might be better off without him here that same preseason. And then T.O. responded by saying, I'm not the one who got tired in the Super Bowl.
Oh.
So then there was all this fucking,
Jesus.
he actually, I think he played half this year maybe, but he was like he didn't have good numbers. There was a lot of fighting on the sidelines, and then he got traded to Dallas.
Yep.
So yeah, and then he almost got held out of the Hall of Fame, but people just said his stats were too good.
I mean, to be fair, they were.
Yeah.
A lot
How many
better than I
teams?
expect them to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you name the 5 teams he played for?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously
Francisco,
the
Philly, Cowboys,
Yeah.
and
Cincinnati,
Yeah.
Buffalo.
Yes.
Buffalo. Yeah.
I totally forgot him on Buffalo and Cincinnati, honestly.
Yeah, Cincinnati was like for.
And he wasn't that bad, if I remember.
He was pretty good in Buffalo. I remember that.
829 yards in Buffalo and then 983 in Cincinnati.
Oh
his last
shit!
year.
Yeah, he was good in
Yeah.
Cincinnati.
Dude, he's a beast.
His
Monster.
last year, age 37 season.
37.
Yeah, 72 catches, 983 yards, and 9 touchdowns.
Wow, 9 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Too? Jesus Christ.
Who was throwing him the ball? I wonder in that year.
Dalton,
Ah,
right?
that's
It's gotta be
probably
Dalton.
no.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
Palmer, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah. Hard to tell. But even when he got voted into the Hall of Fame, there was some controversy because he is the only person to skip the official celebration
Fuck yeah.
Love it.
in Canton, Ohio, instead choosing to host his own celebration in McKenzie Arena on the campus of the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga, his alma mater. He's the only inductee of the hall to skip his induction instead to host a separate induction ceremony. The fucking course he is.
Dude. Besides the gay thing, there's really not that much bad he did.
For sure.
Yeah,
He's
he
a
had
bit
some.
of a diva, but
Yeah, he had some sort of like pain medication overdose too. That was
Yeah,
like they're not sure if
that's
that was
not
like an attempt at his own life and stuff. And he had like he spit on D'Angelo.
oh yeah, there
Hall,
was a spitting thing,
apparently.
yeah, but that was unconfirmed, right?
Yeah, and it was like I don't know if it was like for real or if it was by accident. So He was
And he
not
had
a great
one
guy,
of my
but
favorite
he's not.
quotes.
Yeah.
That's my quarterback.
Yeah.
That's my teammate. That's the best. That's one of my
Which
favorite.
quarterback is he even talking about that I forget?
I think it's
Romo, I think.
Romo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Romo.
Yeah. That's my quarterback.
Jesus.
NFL legend Terrell Owens.
Terrell Owens. That's right. All right. Do you guys want to do best and worst? You got anything else, Greg?
No,
You wanna
that's
just do
it.
Best and worst. All right.
Sure.
Steve, give me your best and worst.
I got a fair bet of stuff here.
All right.
Worst was Fred X jawing after he gets his first catch with 2 minutes and 42 left in the
Fourth
game.
quarter, yeah.
Just like, what are you doing? And then like you
It's like
compare
who
to
was
T.O.
the Steelers receiver who celebrated the first down when they're trying to run the 2-minute drill
Yeah.
and wasted a bunch of time off the clock? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Similar
just like
to
T.O.
where-
was not showboating. He was out there just like giving it all and
Yeah.
having a ball game. And then Fred X is like, you're down 2 scores.
Right. Fucking
2:42
read the
left. He's
room,
like,
bro.
let's go.
Read the room.
There was a cool little Super Bowl fact about 8+ point comebacks in Super Bowl history, which is hilarious in retrospect.
What was the stat? Do you know?
I don't even remember. It was like, I don't think it's ever had
No
an
team has
8-point
ever come
yeah.
back from 8 points down to win a
Yeah.
Super Bowl.
Mm.
Still hold in 2004. No team has done it.
Yeah,
Cool.
there was some commentator ones as well that you're probably upset about, Andy.
No, I was okay with the commentators in this one.
You know,
I
the
knew going
Collinsworth-
in who it was. So I'm like, I'm just gonna chill about it. Referees kind of bother me. I can
Oh, I
get into
didn't-
that if you want.
No, I don't.
Just at
Want
the beginning, that the blatant.
Oh, you're gonna do it anyways. Cool.
Yeah. Well, I'll just give you one. We already talked about the illegal contact that was soft, but the missed it was a blatant pick on Owens, his first like
Yes.
long catch for 30 yards, and it happened literally like the collision happened in front of the referee. I'm like, what the fuck are you looking at if you don't like? It was I think it was Fred X just like laid out whoever the defensive back was covering him, like just straight up blocked his ass on like pancaked him. It was a great block, but shit's illegal. Like it was a pick play.
And then they called a soft roughing the passer
Yeah.
on that.
Right. Yeah.
play.
Like 2
Back to
plays later.
back.
Yeah. God damn it. So
But apparently no one could have imagined Terrell Owens' impact on this game, according to Collinsworth.
no one. No.
No, especially not Terrell Owens himself, I'm sure. As such an egomaniac. He
Yeah.
never,
Right.
never even. And then, what really ground my gears
Oh.
is that he called Deion Branch Tom Brady's most trusted target.
Right.
Come on, bro.
One,
You know
he
Troy
hasn't
Brown
even
is
really
out there?
been here. Yeah, he hasn't been here.
Yeah.
And Troy Brown is right there. Yeah,
Yeah.
making plays.
Troy's playing defense.
Mhm.
He's
Returning punts.
Sick. Do we need to get this highlight on the website because it's
Yeah.
not it's showing up in the stat
Punt
sheet
return.
that punt return.
Yep, that got called back. Punt
Yeah, it
return.
went from getting the ball in their 40 to the ball in R8.
Yeah. And he made like 4 or 5 people miss on that. It was.
He said it was one of his best ever.
It is. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree with that.
He's on
He
the PAT block team,
He's everywhere.
just everywhere.
Everywhere.
And then Todd Pinkston's going in and getting IVs in the middle of the goddamn third quarter.
That Jacksonville Heat, baby.
Yeah.
Not used to it up there in Philadelphia.
Yep. He's in the locker room getting IVs. Troy is making cut blocks on screenplays.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And then staying out there because he's got to be on defense.
Right.
Yeah.
Those are my bests and worsts.
All right. Greg, what about you? Give me some best and worst, bud.
My best was my Super Bowl MVP, Rodney Harrison.
Yeah, fair.
2 interceptions, a sack, 12 tackles.
Was
Really
in on the
created
forced
another.
fumble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And really just like jumped off the screen as like, holy shit, this guy's
Yeah.
physical. Like he's just
He was
every tackle he
everywhere.
makes, he just like ragdoll somebody.
Yeah.
That sack
Like that
you were
tackle-
talking about.
Yeah,
where he like
on
hit
McNabb.
McNabb's leg and like almost like
Yeah.
flipped him. It was pretty
Yeah,
crazy.
and it was like an open field tackle on Donovan
Yeah.
McNabb, which is not an easy thing to do. And he just,
Mhm.
like you say, ragdolled him.
Yeah. I mean, he jumped off the screen way more than Dawkins did for
Yep.
me.
100%.
And I know
Definitely.
Dawkins is good.
Way more than
but-
any other defender did, just in
Yeah.
general in that game.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he was my best
Yep.
honorary MVP from the Patriots Dynasty podcast.
For sure. I
Um,
would agree.
My worst, I didn't have anything, but the only other note I had was on FredX. So apparently his first cousins with Rod Smart.
Oh Jesus.
That was He Hate Me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's his cousin. And
course.
it has here his several nicknames during his tenure in Philadelphia that included Fast Freddy, Sultan of Slot, First Down Freddy, FredX, the People's Champ, and Hollywood.
Oh God.
So
This
over
guy's an
under,
idiot.
how many of those do you think he gave himself?
Yeah, all of them.
All of them.
All of them.
He
right?
also claims that Donovan McNabb costed him $40 million because McNabb didn't like him because he was a first round pick.
Oh, for
And-
fuck's sake.
Yeah. And there's only room for one first round pick on the team or some bullshit.
Oh my. Does he not realize there's a first round pick every year?
I saw an interview. He said that as a grown man. He said that. This is like 2 years ago. He made that quote.
Oh jeez.
Yeah. He's a
I feel like
fucking
you were
idiot.
actually good and you were a first round pick, you're gonna get a shake somewhere else, you know?
Right?
Yeah.
The 4-year career is so shit.
And it certainly wasn't McNabb's fault. If anything,
No.
he helped you out.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right. He dragged your ass to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Oh, that Belichick quote, all time.
Yeah. Hilarious.
You can print that.
You can
Yeah.
print that.
Coach,
the best
people don't
part.
print anything anymore. They put it on the internet.
No, but that's the best part is you can print that. Tell him I said this. Unbelievable. All right. My best and worst. Steve, I'm surprised you didn't go with this. David Givens has his 5th straight playoff game with a touchdown catch. Fucking
What's
hell.
the record?
I don't know, but it's got to be up there.
Stallworth with 8.
Really?
Yeah.
The Patriots?
No, not Dante.
Oh.
What's the
Oh,
old?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. The guy in the
Yeah.
Chargers?
No,
Chargers,
Cowboys.
That's alls.
We're so good at this.
Isn't there an Allworth that was in the Chargers?
John Stallworth.
Yeah, there's a receiver back in like the.
I'm thinking of
80s,
Lance Allworth.
The Steelers guy. John Stallworth. Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah,
Whatever.
Lance Bambi Allworth.
Lance Stallworth.
Played
Yeah.
for the San
Same.
Diego Chargers.
Oh, the Chargers. Right.
He's in the Hall of Fame.
Anyway, great.
That was fun.
Speaking of records, Tom Brady, youngest quarterback to start in 3 Super Bowls.
Mm.
That probably still stands, I would think. I don't know any other quarterback since then who has started in 3 Super Bowls, right?
Yeah. Mahomes is 2.
too.
And then also, I don't really have a worst. My worst is FredX. He fucking sucks. I also have an interesting thing that I noticed when the Eagles were pin deep and they were punting. Pages charted out Troy Brown as the punt returner, but they also actually put Bethel Johnson behind him as like the deep punt returner. And so Troy Brown was like the up man for it. And I was interested to see if Bethel Johnson would actually get a punt return because I think he was probably a better returner generally. But he wasn't as safe with his hands, I think, as Troy Brown was. So I was surprised to see like that specific situation where they put Bethel Johnson back there. But the punt was short, so Troy Brown took it anyway. And also one last thing was an interesting factoid that the Eagles in 2004 played the Vikings, Falcons, and Patriots in the playoffs for the first time, because the next time they would make Super Bowl, they would play the Vikings, the Falcons, and then again the Patriots in 2017, which we will get to eventually, probably not. We shall see. in
Long ways
2055,
away.
we'll get to that game.
We just
At
this
this
is
rate.
the end of the golden years.
This is the end of
This
the-
pace, no chance.
Right. So it was interesting that they had the exact same route to their Super Bowl again. And played
That
the
is
exact same
interesting.
thing. So I think that kind of wraps it up, unless you boys have anything else on the 2004 Super Bowl 39, one of the last of the logoed Super Bowls before they went to their formulaic logos.
No, this is a fun season to watch, though.
This was
This is probably the best Patriots team
Agree.
of those 3.
for
Yeah.
sure.
I would. I would
The
agree
Corey
with-
Dillon edition and
Most
the Richard
complete.
Seymour and the Vince Wilfork made it.
And Brady just being
Mhm.
a little more experience.
Yeah, Brady kind of coming into his prime, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
All right. Should we skip the next 10 years or so?
Yep. Yeah, just fast forward.
Yeah.
We'll go to
Dude,
2007.
Yeah, except for the last game.
Yeah, we'll do the 2007 regular season and then move on.
I'm in on that.
Yeah. All right. Well, congratulations on getting through the 2004 season, boys. And
Wow.
Put a bow
anybody
on
who's
it.
listened to this, this has been a good time. I'm glad we're back at it. And yeah, so now we will see you next time on the Patriots Dynasty Podcast. See you later.
See you later.
Back on that horse, boys.
Made it.
Flippity
We
clop.
did it.